Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for September 6th through the 12th, 2021. So before we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone and also welcome especially anyone who's new to our Angel School community. And just before we begin, I'd just like to make you aware of a few things. So the monthly Angel Scopes will be coming out likely on Monday at some time. But before that, I will be publishing, along with this video today, the monthly angel reading. That will be a general monthly angel reading, so that I could cover that information and discuss those energies separately, in hopes that the monthly angel scope would not have too much information and possibly not be as long. But to be aware of that. So if you haven't seen that video posted, make sure you go ahead and over to my channel and look for that. Also, I will try to maybe post a link to it in the description of this video. And also my angel reading, half-hour angel reading special for, well, let's put it this way, my angel reading special offer for the month of September will be continuing. So that is my half-hour reading for $77. It will be extended to 1 full hour. And you can go to my webpage, theangelschool.com/services, which you can find beneath this video. And then when you select the half-hour reading as is, you would receive a confirmation email within 24 hours on the first business day, and it will note the full hour extension. So everything you need to set the appointment is within this email. So all you have to do is just follow that, and it should be pretty simple and easy. Okay, so to begin, let's clear our minds and our hearts. And Archangel Michael is stepping through. And he's writing the angel number 96. And I feel like this is something that he wants us to meditate upon. And the word difficult was written first as he was coming through. So he writes, or he says, this angel number says, with respect to your divine life purpose, put all of your focus onto the spiritual aspects, such as helping others, asking for heaven to support you, and coming from a place of love. Give any earthly concerns about your purpose to God and the angels. So when I read, put all of your focus onto the spiritual aspects, and this gives me the strong sense that it's sort of like we were talking about last week, about how we can really change by making changes on the inner planes of our reality, that we then truly have influence over the outer. So the outer reality is just the result of the inner planes of your inner being. And so and we often work tirelessly, and sometimes without a lot of effort. We're looking for sort of an immediate change, because we feel like, oh, if I move this or I go do this, things will come into place. And when that seemingly happens, it is because within you, you've 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 um, you've set an intention, a clear intention, or a clear awareness. Your faith, your inner resolve and strength is so powerful that it influences the outcome of those actions, but it's still starting with the influence of your inner reality, your mindset, your emotional conviction, and ability, and your positivity. And I know this word can sometimes sound like it's missing something, but the thing is that the positivity that is often spoken about comes from some kind of emotional resolution. So all of that is still the inner plane. So to focus on the spiritual aspects is to not worry about the problems you see in front of you, but to sort of realign yourself with your heart, with your desire, and to be open to the inspiration, because you're going to need that level of divine um, input in order to shift your perspective and to really transform beliefs that might have you feeling stuck or feeling disconnected. And so you need that divine inspiration to shift that inner reality so that you can really begin to with your see the outer reality as another I want to say another equation. So the one that you're seeing before is blocked, and when you have this inner shift, it's like the puzzle rearranges itself. It's like those games where they have like the word games. I don't know if you played them, and where they have this, and they scramble, and they may have the letters in sort of just this one order, and if you press a button to help you to scramble it again to maybe help you to see the letters in a different combination so that you can pick out all different combinations of words to fill in that puzzle. And it's sort of the same idea when you call on that divine inspiration. It reorders the mind so that you can see the puzzle in front of you, the difficulty in front of you, with a whole new awareness and quite possibly integrity. So let's really go within now and know that when you center yourself within your heart, that this is what this allows. Just the act, and they're showing me now a pair of lungs, the act of breathing with the intention of clearing your mind. And what the breath does is, they're writing the word now. The breath brings you into the present moment of right now, the eternal now. It draws all of your consciousness and the awareness of your being, inner and outer, into that divine moment. And at that divine moment, when you breathe in, they're showing me an angel, your guardian angel appears before you and sends you love, is the word that the guardian angel writes. And they wrote the word dawn, your guardian angel, as if it's like a new dawn. Every time you take that breath, you clear the energetic space, and it's like starting a whole new day or starting over. It's like a reset. That just that much activates that new awareness for yourself. And so take the moment to take a deep breath and focus on the love of your heart. And this connects you then with your inner being, your higher self, and it connects you directly to Source. And then Archangel Michael is standing around you, and he automatically begins to sever any unhealthy attachments that might be manifesting for you and creating those blocks. And whatever energy sort of comes up for you, when you breathe, you give permission to Archangel Michael to really clear your way, to find that inner connection with yourself. And then whatever is concerning you, don't try to get rid of it, but just let go of the need to have the answer right then and there. And trust that everything will come to you in divine timing and order, in the way that will help you to manifest the outcome that you seek. And that you just understand it's a process. And that your role right now is to let go and find the peace within. So there are difficulties that arise when we're trying to manifest the things, and the very things that give us tremendous pleasure. And what we must do is focus not all of our attention on those difficulties, but on the pleasure, the joy of that has inspired our path. And they're saying that you have to learn to play more, to enjoy the journey and the process of what your goal is. Enjoy the discovery of things that you did not know, and enjoy the things that test you along the way, that provoke you new skills to come forth, or new awareness to unfold, that expands the experience far beyond your expectations and the things that you might be anticipating. And you have to learn to pace yourself according to the process that is unfolding. You have to learn to pace yourself. You have to, in a way, be aware of the advancements, the progress that you're making. And yes, we should always have a goal, that we, like we have an outline of what we need to do, um, and some kind of awareness of where we need to be, or where we should be, or where you're at in this moment. But at the same time, you also need to have be able to account for those things that you cannot anticipate, could not possibly know, and have gratitude and appreciation for them, no matter whether they challenge you, or they're whether they're challenging or they are pleasurable. There's a wealth of opportunity in all that occurs, is what they're saying. Okay, so let's take a look at the Archangel message, and to see which Archangel is we're working with this week in particular. We know that Archangel Michael is here to assist. All right, and this is the Archangel Raziel. And notice that rainbow in the background. I'm just drawn to that. And so that gives us a sense that, and this is, the card is titled Take Back Your Power. And Archangel Raziel sort of has this rainbow energy. And there's this awareness of the full spectrum. So that with Archangel Raziel, that all the full spectrum, his name means the secrets of God. And so whatever it is that is hidden from you, Archangel Raziel can bring that to light. And usually he brings that to light through that spiritual understanding. It is that aspect that they were talking about, the things that we often do not see, that perspective, that higher perspective, that way of looking at the equation, that we can't see when we are so sort of so up close to something, so attached to certain outcomes, that we're missing the bigger picture. And so the universe isn't hiding anything from us. It's just that we sometimes narrowly focus and then limit the scope of what is possible for us to be aware of. And most often, what narrows our perspective is narrow-mindedness, and situations or details that aren't important as other things. That is to say, they lack, they're ego driven and really not spiritual. And for example, you might get stuck on someone's opinion, or something that you feel must be perfect, and that in the grand scheme, that really, it doesn't matter. It's other things that matter more. Like we were talking about in the monthly reading about respect, when we get hung up on people not respecting us. And the way that the spiritual aspect of that would help us is to focus on what is the story that's going on with this person, because that respect piece has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the story that's going on inside of them. And if we can't let it go and forgive, then we withhold ourselves from all the blessings that we deserve. That keeps us from really living fully in the moment. And so it's this kind of a thing that you need to be aware of, getting stuck on points that aren't as important to the whole picture, and being able to shift from that to that, that liberates you and it allows you to get back on track. So just be aware of getting stuck on things that, like little pet peeves or being little irritations, things that don't go your way, when it's not about just your way, but it's the way that allows for the greatest sort of freedom that you could experience, and that everyone else could find alignment and connection with as well. So just be aware of that when things like that feel like they're occurring for you. This is the way to reclaim your power, by shifting to the bigger perspective. Because if it's something you're fixated on and it's making you unhappy, that is an indication of giving away your power. And once you do reclaim your power, you have access to, as it says here, to your God-given powers, your abilities, your skills, the way that things flow for you, your instincts, all of that becomes heightened, and it becomes active for you to utilize. All right, so let's take a look at the cards, and let's see for the card for the first part of the week. Oh, so look, we have the King of Cups. I believe we had this card previously, last week, I believe. So when the King of Cups comes up, this is, first of all, really a grounding energy. This is an anchor. And so you want to focus on really not anchoring yourself in the sense that you become stubborn and you don't, you're not open, but you anchor yourself in your truth. You anchor yourself in compassion and love. And you no matter what storms are raging around you, you decide where it is that it's important for you to focus. And they're writing lesson. This is going to be a huge lesson for everyone in this week. And it's going to really help us to grow, because once you find your anchor of love in this situation, so you have to determine where can you reside, where you can have peace. And then not allow yourself to be moved from that, to not give into the drama around you, to not let other people's situations sort of uproot you from that place of alignment, and yet to be the person who holds the space for everyone else to find that peace and calm that is needed, and that clear way of looking at situations and being open-hearted and available to the truth, and to be the channel for that awareness and alignment. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. And this is Six of Pentacles. So this is a card about, equal exchange of energies. In this card, which is so interesting, you see like all these different scenes where people are, where the animals here are, like this mother's feeding her little I can't think of the words for birds, but children. That's a natural thing. Here things are falling from some of the coins or crumbs are falling, and the birds are being fed here. Here is a cat who sees an opportunity, to get something he wants, So he sees an opportunity, something he can go for. And here we see two, um, like sort of a couple, and there's a love exchange. So the thing is that what it's showing us is that there's all these different, there are these natural sort of occurrences where, and opportunities where the universe is giving, and when that is also occurring, there are opportunities for us to receive, and there are different ways that this unfolds, and it's sort of like there is a natural order for this kind of process to unfold, and we just have to be in sync with it. We just have to be in sync with it. And so usually see scales that are balanced. In a way, these two leaves here kind of showing a balance. And what when you look at that, you hear love on one end, and on the end you see material needs. And so there's a connection between um, love, you know, and the things that we need are like the universe loves us. It's because of love that abundance flourishes. And so if you align yourself with with love itself, and your purpose is fueled by that love, that the exchange is automatic. You know what you put out there is what you receive, and sort of that idea as well. But within this sort of um, ecosystem, there is there are it's abundant with opportunities, and it's just about awareness of those opportunities. And so you need to, as you anchor yourself in love, different kinds of opportunities, is all of a sudden it goes from being a world of lack and scarcity, and it's the same scene, but because the inner awareness shifted, all of a sudden you see what was not seen. The Archangel Raziel, the secrets of God, what was hidden is now in full view. And that's why it's so important for us to go within, to shift from within, because that all of a sudden when that happens, now you see things that you did not see before. But when you put all your effort to try to fix it without first fixing yourself, without it's like setting it's like setting a dial, or it's like when you're in a scarcity mindset, you're tuned to another whole frequency, and when you're in abundance mindset, you're tuned to a whole different frequency. And the dial, the only way to change the dial truly is not by I can't think of the words, but messing around with the dials around you in the outer reality, but the dial within you. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the message for the card at the. Let's look at the card at the end of the week, and it's the Eight of Swords. So I feel like this card shows us just such disconnection to these cards, right? And it shows us possibly the way that we get in that trap, that mind trap. And here we see, this boss, this dog. He has the tie on, so it's like he's a boss, like because your boss is barking at you. So this is why I think the illustrator used the dog. And it's like there are people in your life. It could be a supervisor, or it could be people that you give power to, so that when you give that, you assign that power to them because you don't feel powerful, and you've kept over and over repeating your unworthiness and inadequacy. Then when other people have a direction, or are they clear about what they want, it seems as though they're imposing themselves upon you, and so it'll seem like they're barking at you. And this is one way that you can look at this whole piece of, once you change your inner reality, once you change the dial, tune into a different channel, a different energetic channel of alignment, then the outer reality, the perception of other people and their actions will change for you. Because when you're tuned into one dial, when you're tuned into through fear, you see that person through that lens. You see them as this bully. You see them as this person who is taking what you want, or consuming everything so that you can't. There's none left for you. This kind of relationship dynamic is what you see, and you won't just see it in that person. You'll see it in others. And yes, there are times you'll be like, oh, this person's on my side, because that person, you see that person as being on your side because that person is mimicking what you're saying. They complain about the same things that you complain about because you both share the same mindset. But as soon, and you see other people and you say, well, oh, that person, he treats them differently. And that, they're taking advantage, blah blah blah. And why doesn't he treat? Because that person is tuned into a different energy alignment, and they have a completely different perspective, awareness of the situation and that person. And when they see that person, they don't see their fears. They see their aspirations. They see the things that they admire. That's the word I was looking for. And so there's no disconnect in how they relate to one another. There's no imbalance from within. So what you're witnessing are two people who see each other as equals. But because you don't see yourself as equal to anyone else, as an example, then therefore you're going to see and have this experience of feeling as though people don't respect you or do not value what you offer, and that they're taking advantage of you. So this is something that the angels have been bringing up. They brought it up in the monthly angel reading, and they're bringing it up here again. And this is a huge thing in our world right now. If you look at this is probably the piece that is important in order for us to now have access to those fifth dimensional frequencies and the consciousness of oneness. Because this problem, like all the others, is ego, and what the ego's biggest opposition to oneness is separation, segregation. And so the reason why we're having so many issues, race and so many different things, is because of the ego. The ego uses this it's created out of fear. And it is the major point of sabotage for all relationships and the divine relationship, because we are all one with the divine, with Source, with God. And this keeps us feeling as though we are disconnected. And when the soul feels disconnected from God, even if it's not aware that's what the issue is, because that's what it is about, then there's a panic. And then it creates all of these different scenarios that we find to point out, criticize, blame each other for, and go back and forth. And all we're doing is just stealing energy. It's not an energy exchange. It is an imbalance. So power struggle, that's what the power struggle comes from. And it's interesting because this card shows in its traditional form, this wealthy sort of philanthropist giving to those who are less fortunate, and it's sort of like the balance of karma energetically. It's that person is intentionally balancing, trying to reset the karma. It's the same thing with our relationship with the planet. That and all of the indigenous natives of the lands, various lands on the various continents, their spirituality was encoded with this kind of balance, energy balance. This very dynamic here. They understood intuitively that to appreciate what was that the various things that were here, that were given to them on the earth, and that they were stewards of this, which means that they had to take in order to survive, but they had to do it in proportion to what was given. And they knew that they had to maintain, let's just say, the paradise. And in a sense, the paradise is all the various aspects of what they need to survive. They recognize was in their environment, and that they somehow had to maintain that balance. And along the way, we forgot that, and it's become unbalanced. And so this card reminds us of that. I believe in this moment. I never thought about it before, but this card reminds us of that. The whole tarot is reminding us about this because every card is about balance, but it's different aspects of balance. And this is one between in the physical plane, and it just shows us that we have to maintain it. We have to be mindful. We have to make an effort to do it. But the true balance starts within yourself. Otherwise, you will be playing. You would be balancing, trying to balance from a fear mindset, and you will not be able to fulfill your calling to do so, because fear causes you to see people, or see yourself inferior and see others superior, or vice versa, etc., and all this nonsense. So this card here shows how we can how our minds trap us. And so it's the mind that we have to redial to a different frequency, a different awareness. Okay, so let's take a look at the card that I've pulled from the bottom of the deck. And look at this, the Hermit. And I was saying that the Hermit is actually the card for this month, because it's the month of September, the 9th month. And our card for the year, because of 2021, those numbers 2 + 2 + 1 = 5. So the Hierophant is that number. And so this year, we are really working with our belief systems. The things that we believe are coming into question. I mean, they're being confronted. The things that are holding us back, that are holding us apart from each other and apart from the love of God, that is what holds us together. And so this week in particular, and in this month, this is going to be a month really of inner reflection, really tuning into that inner wisdom. And, oftentimes Archangel Raziel is sort of seen as this sort of wise spiritual teacher as well. So I think even in the angel tarots, Archangel Raziel is the Hermit card. So it's going to be really important for you. Now, look at what I like about this card is that it's her hair, which is saying that her mind set. It's her mind that can illumine the shadows, those areas that where we are conjuring things because we are not clear, because we haven't sought out the truth yet. And so again, there's this balance that we are responsible for. When we feel unclear, when we feel frustrated, when our attitude is off, that's an indication for us to create this balance, just in relationship with this card's energy. Like we were talking about before with the environment, we have to make sure that we maintain that balance. And then here, we have to maintain that balance in our mind, and between our mind and our awareness of reality. But it starts from the inner reality, the awareness of the inner reality, and healing that inner reality and finding the balance there. And then the outer reality will have a whole new arrangement, like the puzzle pieces are arranged in a whole new way, and that's when it's like it's all lit up with opportunity. It's all lit up with optimism and hope. So they kept writing at the beginning of this reading, manifest. And we have been working and speaking specifically with the tools of manifestation. This inner dial, this tuning of the inner dial is, and they're writing yes, this tuning of the inner dial is the core piece to manifesting the reality that you desire and the outcomes you desire. Because until you do this, you will be struggling and you will find it very difficult to progress. So once you change this inner dial, the board lights up differently. Your reality lights up very differently. And then you find the hope. You see the clearer path. You see the people who are lining up to support you. That it just like everything just seems like it's just lining up just for you. And that's very, very important. There was an angel number. Okay, they were reminding me of it. And then we're going to close with this. I think it was a 425, the very first thing I saw when I pulled this card, the King of Cups. So keep in mind that it was with that I saw it. And it says, you're hearing your angels correctly as you consider making a healthy life change. Ask them to help you move forward with your plans. So know that this work that you would be doing, that we've been trying to demonstrate to you, will help you to move forward with your plans. Your plans, your ideas, the things that you're considering, the changes you're considering, they're accurate. But the reason that you can't move forward with those plans is because you're stuck in a particular mindset. And once you ask them to help you with that, when you breathe and all that we did in the beginning, then the answers will start to appear. Okay? It's just like those games called Hidden. That might be a good little thing to play this week, those little games, Hidden. And they just wrote the word career too. So this might be definitely something for career for most of you. But, and play that game, because what it does is you'll notice how you see things and then you don't see them. And then after a while of working, then all of a sudden they were right there before, but you didn't see it. It's this exact same thing. And that's why changing the inner dial is so important. And maybe if you're playing the game, you learn to breathe and not focus on just winning, but you focus on enjoying yourself and having pleasure in this, in what you're doing. And there was something else that I felt like was really important to say about that, because they wrote just pleasure. You know, sometimes we focus on winning, and that causes us to tense up. But that game is just really about practicing being aware. So enjoy the pleasure of becoming aware more and more, and breathe. Remember to breathe, and use it as a way to help you to figure out how to dial better. Okay? So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. God bless you.